Hello, everyone. It's time for a new game on the block. Well, not so much new, but new for the channel anyway. It's a remake, not necessarily a remake, but kind of those reimagined by Inti Creates. They do a lot of those lately. It's Blaster Master Zero on just about everything nowadays, I think.
Is there anything like classic pixel style that isn't like Freedom Planet or Shovel Knight that Inti Creates isn't the only one doing?
You see, you had to put wasn't Shovel Knight in there because that's the only thing that I could think of. And I mean, not that that's a bad thing. Usually,
Yeah, I mean, Inti Creates sprite work is gorgeous. So
yeah, even if I'm not like a fan of the gameplay ideas present in any one given Inti Creates game, they're always well made titles, so I can't ever really complain.
I'd like to see more than one creator actually doing this stuff so that we get some competition in how to do it well, but you know.
Yeah, so I never really knew much about Blaster Master. This is like way before my time. Like this is
yeah, it was before my time.
like this is a game that was like popular-ish. Not even popular.
It wasn't very popular. It was a cult following back then.
Yeah.
Although it was one of those ahead of its time games because it was a better example of a Metroidvania before when Metroid 1 was around.
Yeah, because if you look back, like, because Blaster Master 1's on the Switch Online shop right now for free. If you have the Switch Online NES thing. And, you know, aside from some 8-bit clunkiness, it's a very well-made game, especially for the time. And I don't know how much of this game is a reimagining versus a remake, because I never got far in the NES original.
It's so much more reimagined.
Right.
The beginning areas, though, are like almost note for note.
So-
Like, the level design is nearly identical.
So, wait,
but I don't know about later in the game.
Yeah, but behold the tailed frog! Very unique.
Are we actually like opening this up on some guy named Jason finding an unknown species of frog and naming it Fred?
Yes, it's Froggy.
Yes.
Yes.
And he's trying to find his pet frog. Froggy!
Yeah, the American version, I mean, the U.S. version of Master Blaster back then Americanized a lot of
Oh,
things.
you mean Blaster Master?
we're gonna
What,
just swap it the
to-
entire time. We
every
might as well
time,
just
yeah.
drop it now.
Okay.
But
Yeah, they Americanized a lot of things, so Blaster Master Zero was kind of poking fun at that a little bit by just having a totally anime guy named Jason.
so I know that like changing stuff for the Western release is par for the course for like 80s NES stuff, but like do you know what about the 8-bit version was changed specifically, like that made it laughable?
They just changed a lot of character stuff to just make it be like cool, and he's the space marine kind of guy sort of thing.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
Okay.
I get what you're talking about.
But you
That
know,
kind of thing.
this
Because anime doesn't sell back in the mid 80s.
I just can't get over how this character his design is. We're just gonna have an anime guy in a T-shirt that looks like it was bought off one of those internet services where they actually just literally put a screenshot from a video game on a custom T-shirt and sell it to you for $20.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
The Blaster Master theme's freaking amazing, though. Like
it's really
my
good.
first exposure to Blaster Master, I'm pretty sure, was the AVGN using a theme from it in one of his videos. So you know that goes to show like how uncultured I am.
So wait.
To be fair, Ted, it didn't really. Blaster Master wasn't a thing when you were a kid.
No, it wasn't.
It had the NES game. I think there was a Game Boy version.
Yeah, I don't even think that there
Back
was
then.
like a. I don't think there was even like an SNES follow-up or anything like that. I'm pretty sure.
No, there wasn't. It was just the NES game and I think the Game Boy game, and then it kind of vanished.
I was going to ask how the hell a tank is jumping, but I'm seeing the animation here and it sort of springs its wheels down.
Yeah, it's got hydraulics.
That's not how hydraulics work, damn it.
In Blaster Master Zero 2, the whole gameplay change for that one is that you're supposed to make the tank like jump up into the air and then slam it into the ground because that's how you get more gas.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, this
Yes.
game doesn't care about science very much.
That would
Yeah. Also, our magic Froggy in the far future can now open wormholes,
Yeah, you know.
as Froggy does.
I love that in the context of the game, for the record, he met this frog like 5 minutes ago, and he's just like, I need to jump into this random tank I found and find him, because
Yeah, he decides to just follow him down a wormhole.
Because this, like,
It's like I guess I'm on an adventure now.
there's a shocking amount of lore to Blaster Master. Like, the areas here were an ancient civilization that were then covered up
By the Ice Age.
Yeah, and then but none of that's ever really acknowledged. Instead, they're talking about the aliens that are coming instead, or mutants, I think they technically are, or
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, there's a lot of Blaster Master lore.
Also, this game and the sequel, Blaster Master Zero 2, the bad endings are ridiculously dark.
I never got the bad ending for this one. I
haven't either. I always go for 100% for these kind of games because they're kind of short otherwise. But
yeah.
they're really, really dark.
Wow.
Like,
Holy shit!
I'm pretty sure like the girl character just straight up dies. If I remember
She
correctly.
basically just straight up dies in both of them.
Oh, in both.
So-
of them?
if,
Damn.
if you don't get
Why are
if
we
you don't get the good
suddenly
ending.
going from like fast-paced and freeform side-scrolling to really slow and clunky looking overhead?
It's actually not clunky.
Yeah, it controls pretty well. I mean, if you're playing it on the NES where you can't really move diagonally, it's a little bit
Yeah.
clunky, but that's how it was in the original too. The original didn't really know what it wanted to do in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it had these two gameplay ideas, and it did them pretty well, but not super great.
Yeah.
So to try to figure out, so back then when they tried to figure out a way to make them kind of work together, they came up with the kind of this non-linear structure, where you find all these upgrades in like the caves and stuff that help you or the tank. So that's kind of how the game became a Metroidvania before Metroidvanias really kind of took off.
Right.
The problem with playing it on NES though is that it's one of those games where if you're gonna save yourself a lot of headache if you have the manual, because you're like, what does this do? What does this upgrade do? There's all these meters. I don't know what it is. It's complex and ambitious for an NES game, which is great, but it doesn't have like text to explain what's going on. Like, for example, so you see the health meter in the top left. The yellow's your health. The red
The
is
gun meter.
Yeah, you have your gun meter, and basically as you collect the little red things, you get more modes for your gun. And
Which all do different things, which the game doesn't tell you about.
yeah, but when you get hit, you'll lose a gun meter, meaning you'll essentially lose an offensive option. But yeah, the game doesn't tell you that, so I'm just thinking, like, what's going on? So I think in this game you can change your gun type through the shoulder buttons, if I remember correctly.
If shoulder or X on the Switch, it's something like that.
Yeah, so it's not... Right.
It's not like obtuse to do, it's never explained you can't do that at all.
Yeah, the NES version, I have no idea how you're even supposed to switch something.
It's probably select or something.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on. One thing I do like about the game, though, is that once you do figure it out, there's a lot of different strategy to what you're doing with the different weapon times.
In 2.
More so in 2, I agree, but...
In 2, once you get your fuck you laser, you kind of are just doing that.
Well, the 2 also has the thing where certain sub-weapons are better paired with different... types, so you're not always wanting to use the best one. In this one, though, once you get the wave beam, that's basically the only weapon you really want to use ever. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And don't worry about holding onto your gun meter for too long. I think in like the second area, you get an ability that lets you take one hit without having to lose your gun meter. That refills over time.
yeah. So you're not like, if you take so you can't take a lot of hits in a row, but if you get hit,
If you get like
once-
one pot, yeah. If you get stuck with a pot shot, you won't lose your wave beam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. Honestly, I kind of prefer the overhead stuff to the tank stuff in this game sometimes. I mean, I like them both, but the controls for the tank are kind of weird to explain. Like, the jumping's it's very bouncy, I guess. I don't know how to explain
Yeah.
it.
Makes it sound like
And
the
you
moon
could-
buggy in
you
Mass
could-
Effect.
Yeah, you can. I mean, kind of. You can aim from 180 degrees, kind of around you from above. You can't aim down, but you can hold like one of the shoulder buttons to just sit there and point diagonally up.
Yeah, like Metroid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that one of the things that makes 2 it's weird. I think 2's the better game, but I didn't finish it, and I finished this one. I think 2 just has...
Two's longer.
I think 2 has more fun weapons, too, is also the thing.
Yeah.
Like, the weapons in this game are kind of a little bit more standard. Like, you have gun and bigger gun. And I liked the more unique kind of weapons in 2 a little bit more that had different kind of things going on with them. But still, like, I think this game came out, like, launch day for Switch, if I remember correctly. And it kind of came
close to it, yeah.
It came out kind of out of nowhere is one of the things. Although the same could also be said for Blaster Master Zero 2, because that game is just like, buy today, and it's like, oh, okay.
What? Wait, what? It's like, what?
All right, then. Sure. And it just happened to release, like, a week or so after I had beaten the original Blaster Master Zero, so it's just like,
I have Zero 2 also recorded, because I figured why not, since I was playing the game anyway. And it's not, like, super long, but, I remember we got a code for Zero 2, which we did a video on.
Oh, yeah, and we had both already bought the game.
No, you had the game, I didn't, which is why I took it.
Yeah.
Because you already bought the game.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I had the sequel, I might as well buy the first one, because I got the second game for free.
Yeah.
So I did, and I'm like, okay.
Did you buy any of the DLC for this?
Yeah, it was all the DLC for this game was like $5 total.
Well, if you got the game at launch, you got all the DLC for free. Which was pretty cool, I think, and it's not really all that expensive anyway if you get it. One thing that's just I'm assuming you're not showing any of it for the
No, because it doesn't really change anything.
Yeah, that was the big disappointment. Is that the only thing that really changes substantially when you get the DLC is this part, the overhead part. And I mean, you do get some cool, like each character does control very differently, and you know. Like, there's neat fan service stuff, depending on if you like the unlockable characters, but, like, the tanks are all exactly the same as far as I can tell, which is disappointing, because that's, like, half the game that's basically the same, and if you're playing a game like that with a DLC character, I like going through the same game with a different twist, but if half the game is identical to what I've already played, it feels, I don't know, I kind of wonder why I'm going through it, you know? Because after I've already
I guess whenever you just feel like coming back to the game.
I mean, I guess, but I'd like to have the whole experience be different as opposed to just chunks of it.
Yeah.
It's a minor thing.
Time for the fuck you wave beam.
Oh yeah, the fuck you wave beam is because it goes through. It
pierces everything.
It pierces walls. It's got huge range
enemies.
and high damage. In Blaster Master 2, they have a version of this that's like nerfed to hell because they said, oh, they actually bring up how overpowered his gun was in the first game in optional text, and they're like, I'm surprised your gun didn't overheat and die the way you were spamming that power mode. So the more you spam the highest powered gun in Blaster Master,
the weaker it gets.
Yeah, which is a good way to balance it, I suppose, and make you actually use some of the other stuff you have.
Yeah.
Oh man! Wow, we're at the end of the game already. Mother brain, man.
Fuck you! 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 Fuck you!
I didn't know you were a Metroid speedrunner. Does this mean we get to see Jason in the swimsuit when we win?
No, we'll see. So, whatever her name is in the swimsuit. But you haven't even met her yet. Yeah,
also,
you just
she's
beat
a
Mother
robot.
Game.
I mean, what? Spoilers. What? Man, Samus is a wimp. Aw, man. Oh, I need a baby to save me from the evil, scary mother brain. Oh, man. Looks like Jason's gun's just better than Samus's, confirmed.
Yeah, Samus just needed to move the top down to be better.
So what did we get for beating this one? Is it just the better gun, or
the better gun for the tank?
Oh, okay.
Also, you can't control Jason in the overworld. He sucks. Don't play as him.
Oh, dude. The playing as Jason in the overworld, there's always a couple of sections where you have to do it. I think you take like 4 or 5 times the amount of damage when you do it.
Yeah, and if you fall from too far of a height, you just die.
Yeah, I don't think there's even... I think there's like maybe like a tiny spread of pixels where you'll take fall damage instead. But it feels like both games have really, really obnoxious points where you have to do platforming.
So much so that in 2 they had to do a patch.
Oh yeah, I remember.
For that one planet because it was so obnoxious and everyone hated it. So they changed the room specifically so you had an easier way to get out once you actually did the platforming challenge.
Yeah, because not only did you have to get all the way in, you had to get all the way back.
Yeah.
So
all without dying.
Yeah, that I think took me like a half hour just to do that one.
Yeah, and
room.
it was annoying because I wanted to show that off for the playthrough, but they added the patch like right when I went to record it.
Okay, God damn it.
I'll bring it up whenever we decide to get to it.
Yeah, but I think everybody who's played that game knows the room we're talking about if they got that far.
It's planet like C2 or something.
Yeah, it's like halfway through the game, and the game's pretty well designed up until that point.
Except for that one damn room.
Except for that one room. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Which I heard was an homage to a certain room in the original on NES, which obviously I haven't played. But it's like, if it was so famous that the fan base absolutely hates it for that reason, then why is it back?
I don't know. Like, it's like sometimes I appreciate little callbacks like that, but maybe not when you just make them again. You know,
Yeah.
like maybe make
It's
them.
it's like people hated them for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, granted, when something's that infamous, you know, sometimes you can, if you can do it in like a cheeky way that doesn't make you have to restart the room 7 times, then maybe that's a little bit better. But
Yeah.
Okay, so remind me, what do you need to do in this to get the best ending? Do you need to specifically find all of life ups and stuff?
You need to get 100% basically.
Okay, because
I'm not sure if it's everything or just all items. Because I don't know if like health upgrades count.
Yeah, because I know in 2 you need to like do those little side quests on every planet in order to get the best. In order to get
Yeah,
the best ending.
in 2 it's much easier to get the best ending, but at the same time, the optional end game area is a lot harder if you didn't get everything.
I like how
So you might as well get 100%.
I like how you're always finding these caves that take you up staircases onto floating islands. Okay.
It's the future.
Well, technically, this is the past because
What?
it's one of those past futures.
What does the past or the future have to do with nature being nonsensical?
Because
Nature doesn't have technological advancements, damn it.
yes, it do. It's called evolution.
Okay,
Got
so
you there.
the rocks evolved?
Yes.
Whenever I lose the spammy gun, I just go back to long range because it's easier to deal with.
You know, there are a lot of weapons I really enjoy, though. Like the flamethrower in particular, I think is
The
fun.
flamethrower is good in the sense that if you can get right up in something's face, you can do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
But you're also guaranteed to just get yourself hit the second it moves.
So one thing that's in this game but isn't ever really acknowledged as far as I'm aware, maybe I missed, there's a lot of optional text in this game, so I could have missed that.
Yeah.
But certain enemies do have weaknesses to specific weapons. Like, the easiest one to figure out is that when you get to the ice area, the ice enemies have weakness to the flamethrower. But I think
I will use that occasionally in the ice area.
I think that other enemies have weaknesses too, I just could never figure them out.
Don't care, spammy gun.
Alright.
Hey, if it kills everything just as fast anyway, what difference do I have to try other things?
Fun, variety.
Also, don't jump down the ladder, you will die.
Oh, dude, Mega Man has ruined me. Like, cause that Mega Man and other games
Oh,
like
no,
it
yeah, no,
just
oh,
make
trust me,
like,
I did that all the time when I first started playing this game. It's like, oh yeah, I can just jump down the ladder and it'll be fine. Goes more than 2 feet. No.
You know, if you want to be
Jason does not have it, the Aperture Science leg bracer things.
if you want to be a real, like if you want to be like a daredevil, you can jump off and then grab the ladder again before you fall. If you want to, you know, risk death, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, it's really finicky because you have to be hitting dead, like straight dead up on the D-pad or analog stick for it to register as grabbing the ladder.
Yeah, and with like the Switch Pro Controller D-pad, sometimes that's not always going to happen. So yeah, so unless if you're one of those speedrunners who needs to save like 0.2 seconds whenever possible,
on every ladder, yeah.
I would not recommend doing it.
You can, however, jump from an infinite height into water.
Yeah, because that's how science works, of course.
Yep.
Yeah, the water in this game I actually like. Like, I like the swimming with, like, I mean, granted, normally when you're on land, taking Jason out of the tank is, like, suicide. But I like that when you're in water, you can control Jason, and he has the mobility to get around without necessarily like meaning instant death, which is nice.